with my mom who is single and cooks for herself. We are talking about cooking for 1 or 2 people. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we put up new videos. Hello, I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook, where you can eat better, spend less. We have a new hardcover with full color pictures and over 1,200 recipes and tips to help you save money on your grocery bill. Check it out at livingonadime.com. Hi guys, today I'm with Mom and we are talking about how to cook for 1 or 2 people. We get this video requested all the time, so we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
All right, Mom, how do you cook for 1 or 2?
Well, just like you do with 4 or 5. I mean, you just cut everything down is basically what it amounts to.
First of all, it's basic math. So we get requested all the time to do a cookbook for 1 or 2 people. Guys, this is basic math.
Yeah.
Pretty much every recipe in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, just cut it in quarters. Just quarter the recipe so that instead of 1 cup of milk, you use 1/4 cup of milk. Instead of 2 cups of flour, you use 1/2 cup of flour. It's really not rocket science.
And the one thing we get a lot is, but how can I half an egg? The recipe calls for half, you know, if you how do you half 1 egg? That's really simple. I have measured out my egg. One of my eggs is 1/4 cup. So I put 2 tablespoons of egg in, you know.
And just keep, what you can do is you can whip up that egg, put 2 tablespoons in your recipe, and then store in a little container. I just have these little 1/2 cup containers, and just store that in your fridge, you know, for several days.
To your scrambled eggs the next morning, or use them in another recipe the next day.
And if you have a cookbook like our Dining on a Dime cookbook, as you half or quarter the recipe, just write next to it, write down 1 cup, 1/2 cup. So each time you're making the recipe, you don't have to figure every time. Okay, so that's how you do the recipe. Now, what are some other tips?
Well, and so you've got to get out of the mindset. The biggest thing that I see people do wrong when they're cooking for 1 or 2 is the size pan that they use. If you use, it's like they make this monstrous big pan, and it's a lot of work. And they often say, well, I make a huge pan because I can freeze up the little packets, and that's fine. If you use up those packets and you want to do it that way, do it that way. But I think when you reach my age, and even singles, you know, I don't know, if you think about it, I've seen these Dutch ovens that probably, when you calculate out how many servings there are in one of those Dutch ovens, you would be able to freeze enough of whatever you make in that pan for 30 days. For 30 days.
Yeah.
So the next night you make another pan that full of something else, you've got another 30 days, and you put that stuff in the freezer, you're going to get tired of it. You're not going to get it eaten up before it spoils and gets freezer burned. So instead of trying to fill my freezer with tons of little packets of cooked stuff that I forget about, that I lose, I do just smaller cooking. And the biggest thing is I use my little pans. I only have these 3 pans that I use most of the time.
What is this, 4 cups? Doesn't say. I think this is 4 or 6 cups. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's small.
It's just a little small saucepan. I make spaghetti sauce in here. It's so simple. All what I do is when I make spaghetti sauce, I use a can of tomato soup, and it takes, you say, but it saves time to make a big batch and not have to recook. But you have these big, huge pans you have to wash and clean and put away and store and do all mess with. And if you're downsizing, you're not going to have that room for that big old pan anymore, you know, as much. So in this, I take my little can of tomato soup, plop it in there, add my spices, and this is almost 3 meals for me, and it takes me about 3 minutes to do that, to prepare that.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 days. And then what I do a lot of times is I will take, of course, now this is antique. My pans are really old, guys. These were an antique before I even got them. So, but I love to use these things. But I have this lid, and your pan may have another type of lid. I even have another lid here I could use. I just put a lid on this, put it in the refrigerator and store it, and then I'll have it for lunch the next day. And even though I may eat 2 meals or 3 meals, that's not so long that I get tired of it. You know, that's really not that bad. People, that's the biggest complaint is like they get tired of eating the same thing. Where if I made a Dutch oven full of this stuff, I would really get sick of it. So start cooking things in a small pan. You need to do that. And I mean small pans all the way around. And part of the problem I have with cooking single is you've got such a mess to clean up. You don't want to cook a full meal for one person and have this big, huge mess to clean up. It's for some reason, psychologically, it's okay to do it for a family of 4 to 6, but for one person, you think, I just don't want a mess for me. But if you use these smaller pans like this, now this pan's rough. I've had this thing about 10 years, you know, and I use this size of a pan. This is my main frying pan. Yeah. I'll fry my hamburger in here. I can use it to, and it's a nice size because I can use it for like hamburger frying, or I can fry a couple of eggs in here. It's not overwhelming for the 2 eggs, but it's big enough to do like a pound of hamburger or something like that in it. So start adjusting those size pans. This way, when I get done, I just have to clean this one little tiny pan compared to a big fry. I've seen people take a frying pan, that's like a chicken fryer pan, huge, and they'll fry 1 little piece or 2 little pieces of chicken in this thing. Then they've got this big, huge pan that you got to put in the dishwasher or wash by hand. And so you have this big old mess, you know, big old pans that you have a couple of them. If you make spaghetti, you'd have 2 big, one for the spaghetti. And so just get rid of not get rid of them, but put away your beautiful set of stainless steel that you've used all these years with your family and get a couple of little pans and start using them.
So this is the one I use, even though I have a big family. I'm on a special diet, so my family doesn't eat the same thing I do. I fry my 1 egg every morning in this little pan.
Yeah.
And it's easy and it's lightweight. That's another thing. These things are lightweight. And as you get older, it's harder to hold these pans. They're heavy, they're bulky, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I went and I tried to get this for my my grandkids that are starting to go out on their own. This is called the Pot. And I love this thing. This is probably my favorite pan because it's only 2 quarts, 8 cups. This is 8 cups. It's got measurements inside. It saves me dirtying a measuring cup. You know, that if I love that because half the time I don't use a measuring cup when I'm doing stuff. It's the handle you can hold on to, and I don't get paid for endorsing this pan at all.
If I find it on Amazon, we will, but
yeah, if you do it that
I don't know
way.
if it's on Amazon.
But the handle never gets hot. It has a pour spout. You can use this one pan for boiling for teapot in place of a teapot if you need to. You could boil spaghetti, like I said. It also has this lid, so a glass lid you can see through. It's got drain holes. You don't have to have a special drain thing to drain everything with. You know, it saves you doing another, like, you know, you can use the lid and that. So I love these types of things to use when you're single. And
okay, so let's talk about saving money on food in general. So the big thing when you have a family is you buy in bulk, which I've never really done well, not the way people talk about buying in bulk. I do it differently. But how do you save money when you're single? Because buying in bulk is so much cheaper.
Well, you can buy a lot of things. You don't have to buy in bulk in order to get the savings.
Yeah.
There's so many, everything. I've never bought in bulk.
First of all, just buy it on sale.
Yeah, just buy things on sale. That's all you have to do. So you don't need to buy the bulk stuff to get
and
the
think
savings.
about it. Okay, let's say the family size container of tomato soup. Let's say the family size of tomato soup is $3. So that is a 50% saving over buying the little can. Okay, that's great. But if you're not going to use an entire can of tomato soup, don't buy the entire can of tomato soup. You actually may save more money by just using a smaller can.
Yeah, because you'll waste so much.
Because you're not
probably.
wasting.
That
Exactly.
happens with me with mayonnaise. You know, I had to figure,
Mhm.
calculate, and I calculated out by buying the small container of mayonnaise over the large container of mayonnaise. I was going to save 10 cents if I bought the big one. But I also probably wouldn't use that whole big jar up fast enough, so I would maybe waste $1 worth of the big jar. So you have to calculate things like that
Yep.
and do it.
Yeah.
But you know, just keep simple. I've watched so many people make huge amounts of food. People have trouble, especially if their moms cook like this or they're used to cooking for big families. They can't think small in their mind. Just start buying less, use smaller pans, and it should be so much easier cooking for one or two.
Well, and keep your dinners, or keep your meals simple. You know, Mom eats graham crackers for every breakfast. I don't know how many people we get are critical of that. It is not a big deal. I personally eat a piece of toast and a fried egg every morning for breakfast. Don't make it so complicated.
Yeah.
You can have a tuna sandwich for lunch every day, or an egg salad sandwich for lunch every day. It doesn't have to be this big to do.
Yeah, you don't need to make it, you know.
Yeah.
You can also take and, like, you think, well, I would like to have a pie. Well, I just got a little tiny pie pan from my mom that she was getting rid of, a really small thing. So maybe I'll one day make up a pie crust. I will cut those in the size of this little pie pan and keep them in the freezer and just use. But I didn't make huge amounts, but I made enough that I could make me little pot pies if I wanted. If I had, you know, a few extra leftovers. Be sure you use the leftovers that when you do have the leftovers, you know, make sure you use all of those.
Yep. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really not rocket science.
Well,
that's why we haven't done a video on this, because we are kind of like, well, how hard can it be? But
it's not. And the thing is, just cut those recipes down.
Yeah.
You think you can't cut them down. You just cut them down. I cut every recipe down, you know, to a quarter, and it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just basic math.
Yeah. If you're going to have cauliflower, you know, what I do is, like a big cauliflower, it may take me a few days to eat that. But what I'll do is I'll cook part of it with maybe melted cheese on top of it and a sauce. And then the next day I'll maybe have the fresh cauliflower with ranch dressing or something.
Yeah.
Have 2 or 3 recipes that you can make up for something like that you can do different too.
And like, I'll get a roast chicken. Well, if you're single, you could get a roast chicken at the rotisserie one night. Then the next night you could make yourself some barbecue chicken with it. The next night you could make yourself some green chili with it. The next night you could make chicken noodle soup with it. So you have completely different meals. But you're still using that one chicken. Make yourself some chicken salad for some chicken sandwiches. You're using the one chicken for 4 or 5 days worth of meals, but they're totally different meals.
I'll open a can of tuna fish and I could make up half of it for tuna sandwiches, and I'll take the other half, and we have a recipe for creamed tuna on toast, and I can
tuna
do that.
Casserole, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really it's pretty simple. You know, but
But just keep the pan small and don't make monster batches of everything anymore.
Yeah, I guess I need to write that cookbook, Cooking for One or Two, because people keep asking for it.
One more thing too that people think, well, I don't want to make a big batch of mashed potatoes. I cook 2 mashed potatoes when I make mashed potatoes. The first night I have my mashed potatoes engraved what I'm going to have. I take the other half then and I store it. And I'll make potato pancakes the next day. They're 2 different things, you know.
Or topping for shepherd's pie.
Yeah, so that's the way you do it.
Yep. All right, guys, please visit us livingonadime.com. Check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook if you want to save money on your grocery bill. We will see you guys next time.